Hey folks, it's Maxie here and welcome to a new TEW2020 video under the brand new format of one a week, where hopefully we'll have a bit more storyline driven shows. But looking forward to it. It's the first time the Smackdown brand is going to present to us No Mercy, which will be the last event, at least solo branded, till SummerSlam. We are going to have, I think after this one we'll have basically a show in the UK. I just want to try a few kind of tag teams, just get some storylines along in that. We'll then feature obviously NXT TakeOver for that week, which is shaping up okay, and then of course SummerSlam itself. But looking forward to this one. As I say, SmackDown has an absolutely thriving tag team division. There's a few factions going on, and yeah, they've certainly got a very promising upper card of the show. I'm quite excited by that. I feel the main event tonight is going to be something that's going to be good, and I hope it works out well. SmackDown shows are just broadcast on the network, so we don't lose too much on buy rates going into the next event, because if you have too many on pay-per-view consecutively, that does obviously impact it. So one on the network is fine, and today we've opted for a legendary band, an A-list celebrity, and an extra 2 million on a special set. So going all out on this one, but I feel like the main event has all the tools to deliver. Whether it delivers, I don't know, because they've never faced each other in one-on-one competition. So we'll jump into it. As always, thanks for tuning in. If you want to get social, you know what to do. If you want to buy the game or try the trial version, the links in the description below as the best places for sources to get other mods, to get people's other content. Plenty of content out there, as I say, not just verbal, but also written as well. So let's crack into it then. This is the Smackdown branded WWE No Mercy 2022. So we have hopefully smashed our record attendance here in the California Memorial Stadium. Looks like a sold out attendance of 60,882. So I believe that first achievement in terms of attendances is about 10k off, so we hopefully can get that. And a wee fella, speaking of achievements, I have finally done the 50-year career. Probably done it in the wrong mod, as I say, a present day with a lot of companies. It probably took me a good 3 months of just solid simming it. But as I say, as you all know, I do a lot of F1 kind of esports races and stuff. Well, not anything major, just to say local kind of lower leagues, but yeah, that's a good opportunity to sim it an hour or two every so often. But I've done the 50 years, so that's ticked off. So everything now is just firmly performance based, and of course attendances, so stuff that really I need to affect with good booking and good shows. So hopefully together we can get all that. So 60,882, a fantastic opener to the show. Of course, the usual promo hyping up their chances for the main event. Got a 98, so that's going to be our strongest promo. The champion Keith Lee here just basically said he's disappointed. He considered Daniel Bryan to be a friend, to be a mentor, to be someone that alongside he could take his game to the next level. He's disappointed that Daniel Bryan, out of jealousy, threw that all away. Daniel Bryan just said he was sick of being a second fiddle to Keith Lee, and he's tired of always being, you know, that good guy that just helped people. It's time for Daniel Bryan to become Universal Champion. And another reason for the matchup is basically Daniel Bryan has very good psychology, and if he can mesh with Keith Lee, another megastar that has good psychology, that's what we're hoping is the case. So 98 rated segment. John Bradshaw Layfield was pretty weak, and the segment deserved better announcing and better colour commentary. But what in this save doesn't need better commentary, because all the commentators suck. Opening contest was for the Smackdown Tag Team Championships, and in about it they had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. The team of Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens defeated Santana and Ortiz in 17:58, when Sami Zayn pinned Ortiz with a Helluva Kick. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens become the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions, ending the 1-year reign of Santana and Ortiz. The whole time reading that, clearly saw the injury and was gutted reading that out there. So straight off the bat, that'll be a vacating of the Tag Team Championships. That's disappointing. I've loved this feud, as I say, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and Santana and Ortiz. I think I'll likely then just have a tournament going into SummerSlam that will crown new Tag Team Champions. But yeah, a broken ankle I'm assuming I'll put Kevin Owens out for a bit. I'd be very surprised if it's less than a month. So yeah, we'll see how bad it is after the show. Not good, but as I say, these have been going at it for a bit. Obviously, Santana and Ortiz, a fantastic 1 year reign as champions. But it was time to move on, and disappointing that KO gets the broken ankle. So 70 is still good considering the injury suffered, so that probably would have been about 75. And Kevin Owens sustains the broken ankle, so thanks, Michael Hayes. Moving along then, we have this is a celebration, but you know, KO will be hobbling about here, so we'll have Sami Zayn helping Kevin Owens to the back. And that's the 78 rated segment. Moving along, we had basically just another women's match up here. There are certain women that I'm trying to push up, and I feel like they need the bigger spotlight to get the bigger momentum behind them. And what I want to try and push is Peyton Royce. I want to try, there's a few others in the women's division that's just getting them to the level of your Asukas, your Charlottes, your Becky's, Rhea's. It's just getting them to that level. So Peyton's another one I want to get up there. So a poor matchup, and Peyton Royce defeats Asuka in 11:57 with a Hurricane Rana. A 61. Asuka's always going to be very talented in ring as well, but she has that psychology, and again, if she can pass that on to as many of the women as possible with good matches, it's only going to help the company going forward as well. So that's why, like, some of the older wrestlers, your Asukas, your Daniel Bryans, are still prevalent in our shows, because they can help with that psychology start. And obviously wrestling more matches against these talents can only benefit the talents as well. Moving on, we then have a promo from The Miz, and he's been in a little bit of a rivalry with Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed, since coming up from NXT, has been on an absolute tear, and he says it's another big man, another up-and-comer that thinks they can make a name off The Miz. Well, you know, Bronson Reed, I don't know how it feels, you know, in his whole career, I probably make more than that in a year. So, proper arrogant promo from The Miz as he just downplays Bronson Reed here, and that is an 81 rated promo. Match itself was pretty decent, it had good heat, great heat even, and good wrestling, and had Bronson Reed go over The Miz in 15:21 with a death drop driver. So a 75 is okay considering Bronson Reed was off his game. Bronson's someone I can push up to the upper mid card, possibly even I think at this rate to the main event at one point. But working with somebody like The Miz is only going to help him. Again, Miz is someone, maybe won't have the high psychology start, but his very good promos will always carry in this product. His in-ring stuff can be iffy, but he's a very, very solid hand. And yeah, someone will probably utilise until he completely flops in terms of in-ring performance. We then had the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships in the line. We had obviously the champions, Jessamyn Duke and Marina Shafir, on a dominant tear. The matchup on Smackdown, which saw Shida get the victory over Jessamyn Duke, Marina Shafir, and they kind of reacted badly to what V1 beatdown. Io makes the save, pretty simple booking. So the tag team titles on the line saw decent wrestling, they didn't have much heat, and a team of Io Shirai and Hikaru Shida defeating Duke and Shafir in 13:16 when Io Shirai pinned Jessamyn Duke with a moonsault press. New tag team champions, a 73 rated segment. I feel with Io, she's just phenomenal, and putting her with Hikaru Shida can hopefully get Shida more over. But at the same time, the same as the whole Asuka argument, Io is that talented, she's kind of like a player coach, so I feel like putting her in the women's tag division again can help mingle with these other women that maybe don't quite have some certain skills, and again can develop that psychology start, because her talent is, there is no limit. She is absolutely phenomenal. She is really good in real life, and that is replicated in the game basically. So a 73 as well, very good, especially when these two you could consider are still rookies, so absolutely delighted. And to continue the feud, obviously a bit more heat in the heels. Duke and Shafir beat down Shida and Shirai after the match. Nice 66 rated segment. We then have Santana and Ortiz with a 70 rated promo. They just say we're really, really pissed off at what happened. It's time we go back to our roots, and we're going to see if we can get a hold of an old friend who wants to come in and stick a rocket up our ass basically, and light that fire. So this guy was actually meant to debut on the main roster tonight, but it wouldn't let me borrow him from developmental, and I forgot to call him up beforehand. So we've probably see this guy popping up at SummerSlam, or probably even popping up at the event in England. I don't want to say UK because it is going to be an England show probably. But yeah, looking forward to that. Let me know in the comments section who you believe it is going to be, but really looking forward to this. It's an old friend. That's the only hint I'll give you. We then had a decent reaction from the crowd at Subpar Wrestling, and we had Babatunde continue his tear through the wrestling world effectively as he defeated Shinsuke Nakamura in 12:30 with a spear. This was a 64, Nakamura off his game. I just kind of get Shin over, and anytime I try and give him a push it just stalls, and unfortunately the way it works out, when I want to push Babatunde, he was the only person that was kind of free, so he had to take the fall here. So a good win for Babatunde. Continue to get the big man over, because of course Ace Austin needs his beast, and this man needs to get over. So he's getting there, slowly but surely, and that's going to be another big win on a big stage. And after the match up, Ace and Babatunde cut a promo. Ace Austin just says, "Look what the big man's just done. He's absolutely destroyed Shinsuke Nakamura, a phenomenal athlete in his own right. Now it's time for me to go to business." And my match up with Seth Rollins. And this is an 82 rated promo. So it basically says with Seth is on SmackDown there was a tag team match and Seth nearly injured Ace, I believe it was, and Ace was fuming after it. So naturally something happens, bit of tension, you turn that into a match up. So we're going to go Seth and Ace Austin. He just says Seth Rollins just is jealous of how good I am. You know, I'm winning the Intercontinental title, winning Money in the Bank in my first night on the main roster, and he's jealous. He's tried to take me out. Ain't gonna happen, pal. I'm going to show you how it's done, and even if you try and mess with me, I got the big man behind my back basically. So I'm really intrigued as to how this matchup goes. It could be a 90, it could be a 75 with a lack of psychology, so let's see how it goes down. Well, we get the Seth promo, forgot to put that in, and Seth will say, excuses, it was a mistake, he didn't mean it. Went to offer an apology, but of course Ace Austin's head up his ass, so he's not going to basically accept it. But it's time for Ace Austin to learn some respect about here, and he's going to beat that into him. 81 promo. So here we go, and it is how I thought it would be, the definite lack of psychology in display. So we really need to get some more guys learning how to work a damn match, these damn present day wrestlers. But no, an exceptional matchup. Ace Austin defeats Seth Rollins in 21-27 with a fold after a distraction from Babatunde. I mean, he is still your reigning and defending Intercontinental Champion. A 96 performance from Seth Rollins, so we've really turned him around and got him back to an elite level. And victories like this can only help Ace Austin get over even further. He's got a gimmick that's getting stale, so we need to tweak that a little bit. But overall, I'm happy with it. As I say, psychology is going to take time. It's never going to be done overnight. They're going to have plenty of matches on television and pay-per-view that can hopefully help them. So, still cool to get some good matches. Moving on. It's the 6-man warfare again, the rematch between Roman Reigns, Roman Empire, him and the Usos, and Finn Balor and the Gorillas of Destiny. It's a 79 promo of Roman Reigns just says, "No fluky victories this time. I'm going to destroy you and your brotherhood." 74, decent matchup. Finn Balor and the Gorillas of Destiny defeat Roman Reigns and the Usos in 16:37 when Finn defeats Jim Uso with a double knee gutbuster. A 74. The reason I keep giving Balor and the Gorillas of Destiny victories, I want Finn back up to the main event, and at least want Tama and Tanga to get to the level of the Usos. So if they keep getting these victories at this level, they'll be getting closer and closer to that. So that is a 74 rated match. Co-main event, Miss Paige, the manager of course of Jacob Fatu, and she's not really introducing a on this client, she's just bigging him up. She just says, "This man's been an absolute tear, and one day he will be level and possibly even surpass, you know, the brotherhood that is Roman Reigns. But tonight he's got Andrade again, and he is going to absolutely destroy him like he done before." So an 80 segment here, and the match itself also an 80. Superb wrestling and great heat. Jacob Fatu defeats Andrade in 1956 with a Samoan drop. Simple reason, it's still part of the promise of Andrade putting over Jacob Fatu. So yeah, big victory on a big stage. The long-term booking for Jacob Fatu looks really promising, and I hope I can deliver that to an effective level. But really delighted with how those two have mingled together. And now, it's time for our main event. Daniel Bryan, just a 79 promo, a bit disappointing. But he just says, tonight is the night where Daniel Bryan becomes Universal Champion. Daniel Bryan takes over Smackdown. That's a 79. How will this draw? Announcers don't kill it. Psychology shouldn't kill it. And it flopped because of the announcers. No, that would have been 100, possibly. Oh, my striker JBL. What are you doing to me? In an unbelievable matchup, Keith Lee and Daniel Bryan go to a 28-minute match. Keith Lee defeats Daniel Bryan with a power slam. The 5th defence of the Universal Championship for Keith Lee. Just a 77. 100 performance Keith Lee. 99 performance Daniel Bryan. Psychology is fine. Good chemistry, which I didn't even know about. And the announcing kills it. Oh my, if we can get a good announced team, these two men can get us a 100 rated matchup. So that is my plan for the rest of the day. I'm going to hunt for some good announcers that can actually carry this company to 100 rated matches, because I want that achievement more than anything. But absolutely delighted. We basically built it up with a slow build, just the low experience and the poor announcing. JBL, Striker are just the negatives there. The show still should do really well though, with the boosts and the good promo. And of course Keith Lee gets one over on Daniel Bryan, so back to the drawing board for Bryan. In the end, an 87 rated show thanks to that opening promo and the boosts. Didn't result in any popularity changes. Oh, that's so frustrating because of how good that could have been. Oh, it is frustrating. So frustrating. I had a feeling those two together would make something magic, and I was correct in that instance. We'll check on everybody's overness in the Smackdown brand after this. We'll also check on our finances because we didn't put anything into our media, which means we'll see how much profit we would normally make in a month, and then I'll be looking to put a lot of that into expanding not just the WWE Network but also WWE Horizons for the television deals that are on that. So just be a wee second and we'll get there. But unbelievable. Just can't even believe it. Let's take a look then. So feedback was awesome. The show is getting fantastic reviews. A few months Kevin Owens, yep, so the titles will get vacated. Oh, I've seen something there that's intrigued me and could add another dimension to the save. Oz Academy, they had another show. Not bad, they're getting 18,000 fans at their shows, so that's obviously our development company for the Joshies. Miyu Yamashita against Maddie Max and Saru Anoi in the main event. You can see there a lot of people that could make the main roster eventually. Let's have a look then. So the one that stood out to me is NXT Crisis. The future looks bleak for NXT as reports indicate that the company is in a complete tailspin, with attendance dropping rapidly and many of its top stars on the brink of walking out. Some insiders have stated that the company could be out of business by the end of the month. So the company may have dropped size because we've had a few poor shows, but how could they be out of business? You know, I'm just going to pump more money into my WWE, so they'll be fine. It's because obviously they don't get the ratings they used to do because Ace Austin is on the main roster, so losing him basically is lost a lot of star power. And Billy Corgan's been forced to go offline. He's done a lot of bad things in this game online, so yeah, at least he's finally offline. Serena Deeb signs a brand new contract. She will be with NXT as a coach. That's her. She's retiring anyway in game, so she'll be there. As a contract's about to be negotiated for John Laurinaitis, and a renewal, believe it or not, he is an NXT of Eddie Kingston. So we got Noam Dar. His contract, his development contract is up. I think we'll keep him. He's still only 29, and this a couple of years into the save, so absolutely Noam Dar will give you a 2-year deal He'll be someone that some people from NXT UK will move to NXT, and then obviously the main roster. Just when I can find the space. WWE finishing first out of 2 in the American Battle this month, so that'll be for us in the AEW, I'd imagine. Possibly might be NXT, so I'm fighting against myself and killing my own company, possibly. 15 million viewers on the WWE Network, and of course that injury to Kevin Owens as well. So let's have a quick look at medical, and Kevin Owens, it's only a month actually. Do we vacate? I might not vacate the tag titles in. That'll be one we'll keep an eye on. I'll keep it as close to possible at the event and see what we can do, but he's basically out for SummerSlam and he'll be back for September, so yeah, effectively a month. We'll keep an eye on that one. And of course Riddle, Blanchard and Borden are all about the same time. The financial situation then was a performance profit of 47 million. Of course most of that is because of, you know, spending so much money on show costs. You can see that at times we're only spending 750k up down to 22 million. So yeah, we're certainly putting the money in to try and get the big ratings, but financially we're pretty much where we were a year ago. So and that's where that money is went to the media. So I'll probably spend about another 60 million on media, just to try and get as much exposure for the company as possible. So last but not least, we're going to have a look at the Smackdown brand's overness. So we can see who's benefited and declines. Ace Austin is practically 90s across the board, is even over in India. Not quite, but yeah. We could have a show anywhere in the world and he will be a main event player, so he's been great. Andrade slips down to the low 80s, but still a very solid player. Only 32, so he's probably got a lot more runs on the main roster. Babatunde is up to the 70s, which is good. Asuka mid 50s. Bronson Reed mid 70s, and there's even a nearly 80 there, 79. What else we got? Daniel Bryan, low to mid 90s, which is good. Finn Balor, slowly but surely getting over. Jacob Fatu, don't think you can quite argue with that in the USA, very over. Keith Lee, 99s and 98s across the board. Kevin Owens mid 70s, although he is 38, so he's getting on a little bit. Also we got Miss Paige, is she getting over on us? Especially in the last month or so, she's certainly gaining overness with Fatu, so I'm still going to keep her as just a manager, but there is that incline at one point to unretire her and give her a run. We'll keep an eye on that one going forward. Roman, 95s to 97s. Sammy, not quite as over, but has cooled momentum, so we'll want to push him. Seth in the low 90s. And last but not least, The Miz, 84, 85, but still someone that's incredibly over, and as I say, ever since last September has just been on a different planet and a very worthy former WWE champion. So we'll call it quits there. Thank you very much for tuning in for 25 minutes nearly of madness. We'll be back for our next event. It does say SummerSlam. I'm putting a UK show in the second week of August. I'm going to go second week of August. I'll do it a week before SummerSlam, and that'll be a network exclusive. So coming up, the show from the UK, NXT TakeOver, and then we'll have SummerSlam. So thanks very much for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your day, stay safe, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Bye bye.